Yahoy. Yahoy. It works so much better whenever I have oh my, what is this? Whenever I have the binaural mics set up. Well, come in. Good morning. We got our coffee here. And today is going to be not a short stream, but probably about an hour and 30 minutes. I do have to keep an eye on the time, because afterwards we will be raiding a Finnish VTubing friend under the name of Kaiku. And what's up, Eloise? We do have some game time planned with them and other Finnish VTubers. And we're going to be playing Headliners, which is not my type of game at all, but it's one of those types of games, like the social multiplayer games that you do with friends that I actually really enjoy. That and Repo have been the best ones. Content warning is kind of cool as well, but yeah. So if you want to stick around for that, and make sure you follow Kaiku whenever we raid them, that will, yeah, you could see me play games. And just a little warning though, and I'll say this again later, it is an 18+ stream, at least on my end. If you end up finding me through there, significantly more unhinged, and yeah, this place is just a nice little place for cozy vibes and softness. But anyway, I'm not gonna ramble on about that. It's pretty much, if you catch me there, if you want to stick around for after the raid and watch me play games with lovely FinTubers, I prepare for a lot of wackadoo stuff. And I have some stories here. And the first one I see, oof, there's no spacing. There's spacing, but there's no breaking down the paragraphs, so we're gonna instantly skip it. What's up, buddy? How are you today? And so, hi. Was just letting everyone know about the gaming stream we have after. Okay. This one is titled, I See You. Though you're no longer with me, you've given me so much to live on. The words I feel, this is horrible. The words feel right as they slid off my tongue. I smile as I stare down at the shiny brown casket. Smiling at a funeral, it feels strange to smile. My lips are cracked and my jaw feels sore and tender. Dry from moist tears and loose from the grinding teeth, surely. I tighten the corner of my lips into a grim line before people start to worry. I steal a glance at the audience. Members of the funeral, my family members, whose heads are bowed as if in prayer, waiting for my next in line. I notice a clear blue pair of eyes that stare back at me from the crowd like a reflection. They're mesmerizing. I found myself caught that way, stuck until someone clears their throat. What's up, Kuma? Just woke up and I already want to go back to bed. Listen, that was me this morning. I woke up, had a lovely, interesting start to it, and was like, I want to go back to bed. I was like, no, persevere, make coffee. How did she pass again? Blunt force trauma. The phrase has a melody to it, like an instrument echoing its last note, though something so macabre shouldn't be said during a eulogy. During your sister's eulogy. She gave everything she had to those around her, so we should remember her not as she is now, but through the actions that defined her. I give one last smile with those cracked lips, and it feels natural this time. Normal. I turn to leave the stage as the audience applauses. I sweep my tongue across the inside of my mouth as I walk down the stairs of the stage, letting my tongue glide across the columns of teeth that are not my own. Cavities, old food, and dull canines hold my attention until someone from the crowd approaches me. It's those big blue eyes again, only they're surrounded by a shade of pink and tears well at the sides. For some unknown reason, I felt as though I recognized the man, in the way that he should feel familiar to me, but isn't. Hey. The man stares down at the ground, closing his blue eyes for a moment, as if he knows that I want to see them, as if he's shielding them from me. In my frustration, I look up to see that the blue eyes are staring at me again, waiting for a response to something I didn't hear. I did my best, I say, hoping that my response would fit whatever he said. The blue eyes look up with me with an ugly look of suspicion. Where have you been? I raise the eyebrow of one of my inferior brown eyes, doing my best to feign confusion. I don't know what you mean. I mean, you disappeared, man. I mean, we were all together as a family for a long time. Then you just disappeared. And, I mean, I get it. After Mom and Dad, things got rough. But we worried about you. Worried we would never see or hear from you again. And if you need space, I get it, but what gives? I think back on the mother and father. Not a sense of nostalgia, but in a sense of knowing, like a eulogy. I squeeze my hands tight to disperse the thought. I needed space to reinvent myself. I'm better now. My brother shakes his head with a look of uncertainty painted on his face. What is making him so concerned, I wonder? What is making him question that I am who I say I am? I'm glad to have you back. Look, I'm headed back. Will I see you again, or are you just gonna disappear on me again? You'll see me again. Count on it, I say, staring into those big blue eyes with a feeling that can only be described as envy. I guess that's an alien parasite, or something that takes over bodies is what it seems like. I just got done with work. Gonna help out in a Finnish language cafe soon. What is this? You teach Finnish, Kuma? Ayo? Ayo? I don't know why I'm imagining like a coffee shop where you run around and just like be super cute and teach Finnish to silly guys like me. I know that's probably not at all what it is, but it seems cool. I'd go there. Kick open the door. Vitu Perkele. The only words I know. Did you watch Parasite? The Maxim? I never finished it. I want to go back and finish it. It was very cool. It was really neat. I've eaten it. I'd break that line out on Aggie at the worst times, obviously. She hates it. But yeah, like, I saw the English dub on Adult Swim, and that's the line that stuck with me. I just help out. It's more like a hangout with a bunch of people around the world, and we just chat. Some now more Finnish, some less. That sounds fun, Kuma. You live an interesting life, don't you? You live a fun little life, don't you? I'm jealous. It does seem fun. I wish, like, that's kind of what I miss about living, like, in a central area, I guess, because currently we're in the country. So like opportunity to go to things like that. Not that I would usually take it up, but it's not really there anymore. Because where we used to live, it was noisy and loud, which I hated. Like it wouldn't be good for this type of work. Or like, you know, for voiceover work. But it was nice for just being close to everything. Like we used to go out to eat so much. Or like, you know, we had everything there, bars, grocery stores, anything, little cafes. Yeah, I miss it sometimes. But I do like you know, the different kind of peace and quiet that is here. You still get your rednecks and, you know, chickens and dogs, all that kind of noise, but it's usually fairly quiet, at least during the day. And get that, they both have their good sides. I like to have random things I can just run to. Yeah, like the mood doesn't strike me often, but like after reading it, I must admit I'm minorly jealous. I wish I had like some cute friends. They don't have to be cute, but you know, if we're spinning a wish on it, they're gonna be cute. Realistically, they're gonna be cute in some way. But just to like drag me out the places occasionally, that would be nice. That would be nice. But all I do is go to D&T and maybe out to eat or bars and stuff like that. I think for our birthdays, mine and Aggie's birthday, they're a day apart, and it's not too far away. I think we're gonna go into I don't know if you're familiar with Dave and Buster's, but it's like just imagine like a giant arcade that's also a restaurant. And I think we've only been to one, but I'm confident that they have DDR there. So yeah, last time I did it, I was in boots, in like steel-toed boots. Oof, not great, but it was still fun. But I'll get my nice shoes on, ooh, my little jogging shoes, and smash some DDR all day. Get drunk and play DDR. That's gonna end well, obviously. I love chicken so much. I want to hold a chicken so bad. They're not bad. Our neighbor's chicken will like fly over the fence and, you know, just kind of wander around in our yard. My best buddy, when we the vacation that I went on not too long ago, he had recently built a chicken coop, and they have about 4 chickens now. They're fairly quiet. But yeah, they just they want them eggs. They get them eggs. With where we had to beg Denmark or something for eggs. They're like, you know what? We'll just have chickens and get our own. Which, yeah, sure, might as well. You, me, so needy. I'm needy, Kuma. Am I? Kuma. Yeah. A little, but that is mega cute. Yeah, it's valid. I'm a needy guy. I'm a clingy guy. I hope that's not a problem. Oh wow. I'm so close to closing the stream. Listen, you have stuff to do. I'll just act like you're getting prepared. So, oh Kuma. Oh Kuma. Maybe that's how I'll greet you from now on, and maybe I'll never see you again because of that. Oof, you're the best guy. Very debatable, but it means a lot coming from you. Stop. Thank you, Eloise. I'm gonna read now. Okay. All right. This is titled, The Girl Born for Madness. Oh, it's very, very short. Okay, well, let's see where this goes. The girl was born into pure madness and insanity. She has been surrounded by it since birth. Every waking moment of her life was surrounded by chaos and delusion, yet she grew up to be quiet and small. She was fragile and needed to piece herself together every day, as the madness would chip away and feed on her weakness. The girl didn't know who she was because she had to be different for every occasion, which made it difficult for her to form a personality that was truly her own. Because everything about the girl didn't seem right. She didn't feel like she was in control of her life or her body. She felt like parts of her would be owned by the madness and that would strip more of her away. The madness is quite greedy and never seems to have enough of the girl. It always wants more and takes what it wants. Why should the emotions and thoughts of the girl be considered when she didn't appear to have any feelings, just imitations of what she observed from others? The girl seemed to be just a web of imitations based on the observed behaviors of others. Nothing the girl possessed was truly ever hers, not even her own emotions or thoughts. The girl was a mere puppet being torn apart by the strings engraved by the madness. The madness just wanted control, and control was a concept that the madness could never obtain on its own. So it learned that to gain control, it must be taken from another. The madness was left untamed and abandoned by its masters, leaving it to fend for itself and forcing it to learn on its own. Madness, left without a master or a guide, was led down a twisted, dark path of rage and hatred, taking any living thing that defied it and crushing their soul until it were left to rot. But the madness tried with all its might to break the girl and watch her decay, but the girl never did. The girl had something that the madness could never understand, and that was patience. The madness was cunning and determined to take what it wanted by any means necessary through as many impulsive acts as possible. But patience never once entered the madness. The girl remained in this patient state for years, never once conceding. The madness grew stronger and more aggressive towards the girl, inflicting all its fury upon the girl. However, to no avail. The girl remained unbroken in her state of patience. The madness erupted in a rage, inflicting all its might upon the girl, but in doing so, it managed to break itself. The madness grew weary and tired. The anger that once fueled it slowly died down, and its strength withered to nothing while the girl continued to remain patient and merely watched the madness collapse. The madness asked the girl, "Why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you break?" And the girl simply said, "You are your worst enemy, and you would have died at your own hand at some point. Having me and you would merely repeat the cycle that you've been trapped in. I haven't been the prisoner here. You have been shackled by the very thing you believed would free you. Revenge doesn't fill the void in your heart. It pushes you further into insanity until you've forgotten what you are." The madness is shocked and stuck in a state of confusion. It can't remember anything about itself, only the anger that drove it to continue living. The madness sighs and withers away. And the girl looks up, seeing the sky for the first time, and wonders if the madness is really gone, or if it will always be a part of her, and she'll continue the cycle she worked so hard to break. Nyahoy, nyahoy. Welcome in, Noah. We generally just read some stories here. Read stories, chat, and when we have the binaural mic setup going on, do a little bit of do a little triggers. If I do stream tomorrow, we'll probably set that up. But I'll try to have it set up for Monday. Seems cool. I don't like how they've broken this one up It seems weird. It's one of those ones where you have to scroll to the side, but then there's also like you have to scroll down to see the story. It's odd. We're gonna skip this one. So how you doing? Cause I don't know. Well, come in. Yeah, boy. Let me have some coffee with you. I'll probably read a shorter story and go and grab more coffee because we're nearing the end of the cup and it's starting to get a little bit cold. I figured out today I spent $600 on Gamba? What is this? The word sounds familiar. Is it just gambling? Okay. Well, that's probably not the best choice, but you will live how you wish to live. Paper play? It might not sound great without the mic setup, Kuma, but I will absolutely do it. It's just me turning some pages, whipping one out, and kind of crumpling it. There's different versions of it. Maybe I should make different ones that are one for specifically page turning and one for like crumpling and ripping. Yahoy, Jasper. From $592, I made $705. I mean, that's good. You ended up making money, but be careful. I think the closest thing I would ever get to gambling is those Japanese sites that are like linked to a claw machine, where you can kind of just use the claw machine and maybe get a really cool anime figure that you can't get here for cheap. But I suck at them. Eggy got addicted to that for a very short time. They all sound so different? Sure. I don't have a different kind of paper, I just have this. But I'll do the other sounds for it too. Close this back. I played the claw machines before and won a lot of things. Very nice. Very nice. What did you want? Again, it sounds a little bit better in my opinion when we have the mic set up. Also tried one of those claw machines with tons of small golden eggs. You can either have nothing or a key to unlock something. You want a Game Boy? Oh, that's neat. You're gonna go murder. Oh no, that's not great. I don't know. Say it has like 1,000 gold eggs and only 15 prizes. Oh no, that sounds horrible. I don't like that. Even if you get lucky enough to win an egg, you might get nothing. It's a very thick paper. I don't know what. Yeah, it's nice. I'm not a huge fan of triggers. But it is one of those that is both entertaining and still like sounds nice to me while doing it. It's just kind of hard to rip this paper though. It keeps on veering off. Give it 2 goes. It was 50p. Ah, nice. So chatting is more your thing? Definitely. Reading stories. It's what I do. That's my day job. But I also like, kind of like playing around with triggers sometimes. It's about maybe like a 2/3 split, roughly. I just kind of leave. Sometimes I'll do the triggers just for funsies. But if someone, pays for it, then I'll tend to do it, leave it like that. Yeah. I like reading. I like seeing these stories. They're especially when they're very well written. Speaking of that, I'm gonna look at some more. I guess I can do this too. If I can find it. Hey, you have fun. Come on. Enjoy your time. Oh, well, that's hilarious. That's perfect timing. There's a Ko-Fi if you want to get free audio. There's a couple up there. And there are roughly weekly uploads for members if you become a member. I'm also going to pin this. If you like my sound and want to help increase the audio quality of the stream with getting a 3DO and getting a better interface, please check that out. I need to kind of put tofu face and next to the other one, but that is it's going to be a shared throne account between this and my gaming channel. But anyway, we have a sci-fi story here called Cold Signal, a story set in the Elite Dangerous universe. I've been playing Elite for a few years now and decided to spend a few weeks writing a little short story in the Elite Galaxy. Oh, this is just the author's note. It definitely ended up growing a lot bigger than intended. I'm not exactly a writer at all, so if it's overdone or a little confusing, let me know. Enjoy. A Cold Signal. Orbital night wrapped around Shajane Market in violet shadow. The gas giant's rings cast long, flickering bands of light across Dorian's cockpit. His Cobra, jackknife, hung in stillness. Inertial stabilizers holding firm as the station rotated slowly beneath him. The outpost drifted above the pale blue storm system that churned far below, glinting softly in reflected starlight. Dorian sat reclined in his pilot's chair, boots kicked up on the dash, a half-eaten ham sandwich in one hand, the other lazily scrolling through bands of static streaked channels. The interior cabin hummed with the quiet rhythm of a ship at rest. Soft electrical ticks, pressure valves breathing, the distant ping of thermal stress working its way through the hull. The gas giant's magnetosphere shimmered faintly across his canopy, casting rippling auroras that washed over the control panels in long streaks of electric blue. He squinted at the readouts as one channel shifted from white noise to something else, a short, repeating blip. Old code, low-strength, automated distress ping. Most likely a dead signal bouncing between rocks. He leaned forward, eyes narrowing as he decrypted the transmission header. Body 3C, he muttered. Ice filled. He tapped a few keys, bringing up the local system map. The beacon's coordinates pulsed faintly among the orbiting debris, no transponder tag. No chatter on commercial channels, just the lonely call of someone or something long forgotten. "You've got that look again," came a voice over the encrypted comms. Clear, sarcastic, and entirely awake. Stephanie called her. "Like you're about to say something cryptic and moody." "Don't, it's too early," she said as the comms connected. "Distress signal," Dorian replied, adjusting the scanner again. "Old frequency, origins in ice field around 3C. Could be a trap." "Great," she said with mock enthusiasm. "That's where all the good stories begin. I'll prep Thresher. Want to race me there?" Dorian smirked. He glanced at the small clock above his canopy. Still early enough to make bad decisions. He bit into the last corner of his sandwich, chewing slowly. The lumbering Type 8 didn't stand a chance in a straight line, but Stephanie was the type to press anyway. "Only if you want to lose," he replied. "You say that every time," she said, already moving. He heard the clatter of tools over the background noise, the low whir of systems spinning up on her end. "One of these days, I'm gonna beat that smug little trash can you call a ship." He leaned back, watching the soft glimmer of solar light roll across the whole of Shenzhen Market. Small station. Old tech, mostly cargo haulers and data couriers using it as a refueling point. Just quiet enough to let the universe feel big again. They hadn't known each other for long, a few weeks maybe, but trust in the black was rarer than Ruxla. It took more than proximity, more than survival. You had to make a choice to watch someone six when things went loud, when to stick and then stick to it. He met her on a salvage run, gone wrong, stuck between a pirate blockade and a burning civilian dock. She'd been shouting evac vectors over wide-band comms while guiding shuttles out through a cloud of flak. He had been tearing through ships two at a time, bleeding sweat and ammo while waiting for a route out. She owed him. He knew it. And she knew that he knew. That unspoken weight set between them, tight and uncomfortable. But he never called her out on it. Not once. He just flew. Just answered. He closed the comms, eyes returning to the blinking beacon on his nav panel. The ice filled around 3C. Cold, scattered. The kind of place you only go for one of three reasons: profit, mistake, or desperation. He powered up the reactor. Jackknife came alive with a gentle shudder as systems lit blue across his dash. A refreshing change from the default orange that came standard on every ship in the galaxy. The hum of the power plant spooling was a low anticipatory growl, like a predator stretching its limbs. Lights dimmed in the cabin as he switched into flight mode. He opened the comms again. "See you at the beacon," he said. "I'll be the one salvaging your ship," she shot back. Dorian grinned faintly. "You'd have to catch me first." And with a low thrum of accelerated energy, he released the docking clamps and lifted off the pad. He eased the Cobra's nose towards the ice field, plotted a course, and entered supercruise. The ice field shined like scattered glass caught in the light of a dying star. Their ships cut through it swiftly but carefully. His Cobra, Jackknife, and Stephanie's Type 8 Thresher closed in on the beacon, but held a cautious perimeter, drifting near the station like dormant predators waiting for a sign of life. He liked the way the Jackknife handled in the vacuum. Precise, aggressive, a little too confident. Just like him. "You sure this isn't just a bad beacon on an abandoned base?" she asked. "Too much residual power signatures, something still active down there." "You love this part, don't you?" she said. The creeping dread, the what if it's pirates, what if it's worse vibe. Just cautious. Isling style cautions. Noted, she joked. He rolled his eyes. Politics, again, her cane-aligned badge blinked faintly on his HUD, but he muted it. Not the time. The structure emerged out of a shadow. A cracked mining platform embedded deep within a spinning asteroid of ice. The caution superstructure, half swallowed by the asteroid, creaked with thermal strain as it rotated. Sparse warning lights flickered red. The pulse of the falling heart of the station. One signal beacon blinked in rhythm, low and steady. As they closed in, it became obvious the place had taken damage. The mail-slot shield generators were dead. Gases and heat vented freely into space, forming a halo of frozen mist that shimmered in the ship's light. The outer shell was scarred, peeled back in places like shattered armor. Panels drifted loose near the damaged docking entrance, tumbling slow through the vacuum. Shield grids out, Dorian muttered, angling his cobra for a pass. Air is bleeding out of the slot. Whole place must have depressurized. Emergency mode. Look at the slot, Stephanie said over comms. Middle section's been ripped apart. There's no way Thresher fits in there. The mail slot itself was twisted. Half of it had collapsed inwards from some kind of internal explosion. Support ribs jutted out at angles, and a chunk of hull, planting, floated just above the entry. Dorian rotated, lining up for a dry run. I can squeeze it. You'll scrape off half your paint, Stephanie replied, quiet for a beat. Then, all right, I'm coming aboard. Your boat, your crazy plan. She throttled back and powered down her engines, letting Thresher drift just off the station's frame. Outside her canopy, the asteroid turned slowly. Its surface dusted and hoarfrost and riddled with impact craters from long-abandoned mining ops. Oh, I think it's raining. Let me take off my headphones. This is another day where it storms. Welcome in, Nasu. Nyahoy. Nyahoy. Welcome in. This is gonna make me sleepy between the music and the rain. Fair. It's been days, on and off. I'm worried that it's gonna storm again. I'm worried, I have a collab on the gaming channel with a bunch of FinTubers. And I really hope that it doesn't storm and knock the power out, because that's not gonna go great. I just want to go swimming. It's such a shame. I haven't been swimming in forever. I used to love it so much. It's been years. Green stories are so cool. You're so cool. Outside her canopy, the asteroid turned slowly. Its surface dusted in hoarfrost and riddled with impact craters from long-abandoned mining ops. With practice speed, she moved to the hatch, locking her EVA harness in place and cycling to the airlock. Tell your ship to behave. I don't want to be scraped off your ladder like old gum. Stephanie choked over the calmly. She didn't like relying on other people's ships, but sometimes you have to take a risk. Dorian watched the readout as her suit pinged for clearance. A few seconds later, the Cobra's rear hatch opened. Stephanie drifted in, magnetic boots clamping down, one after the other with soft mechanical clicks. I brought my own snacks, she said as she unsealed her helmet, breath curling in the cold. Dorian smirked. Touch the seat settings and you're walking back to Shajin. Stephanie laughed under her breath, and she moved forward, locking in the co-pilot's rig. Outside, the station loomed larger now, rotating gently. The main body of the asteroid was hollowed out, all lit in the same sick red emergency glow. Heat signatures were faint and patchy. Automated systems still running, but barely. Dorian keyed the throttle forward. Ice curled along the asteroid's shell, glinting against the hull lights. The mouselat was almost fully collapsed on the left side. He powered down his shield so that he could fit through. As the shield bubble projected by the generator extends about a meter out on all sides of the ship, he dipped under the debris at just the right moment. Oh, it's raining hard now. He dipped under the debris at just the right moment, pitching slightly up as the long shard of planting scraped along his hull. Is it too loud? Oh, no. Warning lights blinked yellow. The Cobra slipped through the centimeters to spare. Inside the station, the air was gone. Debris floated freely. Tools, cables, shattered glass. The landing pads below were warped and unstable, twisted from the loss of internal pressure and heat. Emergency floor lights blinked uselessly in the fog of the cooling vapor. He set the ship down on the one intact surface he could find, a small pad near the rear of the station. Proximity clamps whined as ice crunched beneath the landing gear. The hull settled. Systems whirred down to standby. "Locked on," he said, breathing out. EVA suits clicked into place. Stephanie secured a toolkit to her hip and sidearm to her thigh. Dorian donned his combat armor and slung a rifle over his shoulder, and, with a solid click, it locked into his thrust pack. The lights on her helmet blinked green. The airlock cycle hissed, and Dorian tapped a knuckle against the hole as they disembarked. "Still think this was a good idea?" Stephanie chuckled. "I stopped thinking this was a good idea 300 light seconds ago. Don't shoot unless I tell you to," she said, voice tinny inside the helmet. "I wasn't planning to ask permission," he retorted. "Great. Teamwork," she grinned through the visor. They stepped off the ramp into silence. The centrifugal gravity of the spinning station was weak, barely enough to keep them grounded. The interior corridor loomed, narrow and ice-choked. They moved forward carefully, magnetic boots anchoring with each step. The inner bulkhead door, frozen shut, moaned open with a grind of ancient hydraulics. Lights pulsed dimly overhead. Only a few were still functioning. Warning sirens echoed from deeper inside, warped by the station's failing power grid. Frost coated the walls in web-like sheets. Paint had blistered and peeled back in brittle spirals. A ventilation fan turned slowly above them, swirling mist in a lazy spiral. There was a dark smear of blood, frozen in jagged streaks along the bulkhead. Boot prints ended near a shattered tool chest. Scorch marks painted the hallway in black streaks. The interior stank of oxidized coolant and melted circuit insulation. Something had gone wrong here. Dorian moved forward, rifle up. "Something nasty happened here," he muttered. "Not just happened," Stephanie whispered, tapping at her tracker screen. "Still happening." Gunfire tore through the silence. Dorian dropped to a knee, his rifle raised instinctively, eyes sweeping across the rust-colored haze of the corridor. He fired three quick bursts, short, brutal cracks that echoed through the narrow walls of the clip one of the assailants in the shoulder. The man spun, hitting the wall with a grunt before slumping out of view. The other two came in fast. One slid across the icy deck towards Dorian, a knife drawn in one hand, shotgun in the other. The second rushed around him, swung down his boots first. Dorian twisted, absorbing the impact on his shoulder, crashing to the deck as the attacker scrambled to pin his weapon. "Ian," Stephanie's voice cut through the chaos. He grunted, forcing the attacker upwards with a kick, and slammed the butt of his rifle into the man's jaw. Bone cracked. Blood hit still. Stephanie was fending off her own assailant, tall, armored, fast. The figure had appeared from a maintenance hatch, grabbed her from behind and drove her to the ground. Her sidearm skittered into the shadows, lost beneath piping and frost. Her gloved hand closed around one of her tools, a plasma cutter, and she jammed it upward beneath the slaver's chest plate. A gout of sparks exploded from the man's armor, followed by a scream, and the light of the beam shining straight through his side. Stephanie shoved him off. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, me. Welcome and say, Yahoy, Miss Teely. Welcome in. We are reading a somewhat short sci-fi story based, I think, on a game. I guess it's someone's fanfic. It kind of seems like. They claim not to be a writer, but I actually do kind of like how they do things. Some parts can use work, but overall, it's pretty interesting. I like it. It paints a picture. It paints a picture for sure. The attacker lurched back towards her, raising a rifle. Stephanie grabbed her pistol and fired from the hip. Once. Twice. The slaver jerked with each shot and collapsed across her. She pushed the body away, panting, and out of the corner of her eye, she saw Dorian bring his rifle to bear on the final man. The attacker staggered back, hands twitching towards a holstered sidearm, and Dorian hesitated, just for a breath, before firing. The shot was precise, unavoidable. The man dropped instantly, and Dorian exhaled, jaw clenched. Dorian pulled himself from behind a support beam, rifle steady, checking the corners. You okay? He asked. Just bruised and pissed. Then they descended further into the broken station. Stephanie pulled a portable signal reader from her belt, its interference lighting up with faint blips. They split briefly, Stephanie scanning for life with her bio-tracker. Heat signatures flickered faintly on her screen, guiding them through twisting corridors and sealed hatches. She cut through a panel next to a locked door and overloaded the power port, the door swinging open. Dorian held cover, scanning corners and monitoring movement on his HUD, fingers tense on his rifle's trigger. Bulkhead 7A, Stephanie said softly. 3 signatures, weak and clustered. She stepped up to the door and motioned Dorian over. It hissed open, revealing survivors hidden beneath thermal sheeting. 5 people, thin, frightened, battered, stared back. One man bleeding badly, another nursing a severely broken leg. Stephanie stepped closer, carefully, eyes flickering over their makeshift camp and scorched clothing. A woman with a burn on her face was the first to speak. Thank God you're here. We came here to help when we saw the beacon, but the slavers ambushed us. Dorian's brow furrowed. A lifetime of dealing with liars had made him very keen at telling when one is around. Not buying it. He brought his rifle into view, pointed it at the ground. The burned woman, resting against a crate, met his cold gaze. We saw an emergency signal. We came to strip what was left. Thought it was a ghost station. We figured whoever was calling for help was already dead. Easy pickings. Dorian's expression hardened. You hoped anyone inside wouldn't be able to fight back when you were pirating all their shit. But when we got inside, there was no one here. It had all been abandoned, she continued. But we found blood trails, burn marks. It wasn't empty. It was a trap set by the slavers that had made this place their home to capture and sell any do-gooders that came to help. We barely made it out alive. They tore through our ship. The rest of our crew. Her voice caught. We panicked. We hit our own beacon, figured someone like you would come before they circled back. Stephanie exhaled slowly. You risked our lives. Dorian stood behind her, jaw tight. You gambled that someone else would come in and scoop you up without being killed by the slavers themselves. The woman didn't look away. We weren't trying to get anyone killed. We thought the station was dead. We weren't ready for what was inside. Stephanie's voice lowered. But then it wasn't. When you realized the slavers were still here, you hit the beacon knowing it might bring someone else into danger. Dorian looked down at them. But you couldn't risk calling system security, since you were already trying to rob the weak of their last possessions. We were dying, the woman snapped. And, yeah, maybe we were wrong for coming here. Maybe we were scavenging. Pirating. Dorian snapped. But we didn't deserve to die like that. You love when people choose Dilly over Homie? Fair. Do you actually do audiobooks? I don't like to record audiobooks. I am a voice actor. That is how I make a living. If you are interested in any ASMR stuff, there is free stuff available over on Ko-Fi. And of course it doesn't work, but there it goes. There's some free audio there. There's also, if you are enticed into being a member, you get more audio, member-only audio. But there's some free stuff there if you like my voice and like comfy, cozy sort of experiences. I don't do anything lewd or too crude. That's not the purpose of this channel. Stephanie nodded faintly. Security will decide what happens next. Let's just make sure they're still breathing when help arrives. The woman didn't argue. Stephanie opened her comms and tapped a few keys. I've sent out a request for a security team. They'll tend to your wounds and take you into custody. Dorian exchanged a long look with Stephanie. Don't do anything stupid. Security will sort out the rest. She reassured him. Stephanie glanced back one last time at the scavengers huddled near the dim lighting of the entrance emergency bulkhead. They'll live, she said quietly. Assuming they don't try to bolt before security shows. Dorian muttered. She tapped the inside of her helmet. They couldn't if they wanted to. Their ship's destroyed. I sent for an Alliance cleanup and recovery team to come secure the station and recover the bodies. They moved fast down the corridor, weapons still drawn, boots thudding in rhythm. The airlock hissed open, and the air rushed out. Dorian keyed open the outer doors. They stepped through, metal clinging beneath their feet as the station trembled again under the distant impacts of ice and rock. We were lucky, Stephanie said, voice barely audible under her helmet. Luck's just what we call surviving dumb decisions, Dorian muttered. Let's not count on it twice. They pushed through the hangar bulkhead and into the waiting shadows of his Cobra. Proximity alarms howled as they approached his ship. Let me see how much is left of this, because I really want more coffee. We have a little bit more. I might take 2 minutes. I might take 2 minutes to go get some coffee and chat with you guys a little bit. This is like fixing my whole mood. I'm very happy to hear it. That is literally the purpose of the channel. It's just, that makes me very happy to hear. That means I'm succeeding at what I wish to do, which is just have a nice cozy place and to make people feel just a little bit better. Thank you. I appreciate you. He has magical powers. I'm glad it works for you too. I don't know about that, lady, but thank you. Mm-hmm. I feel like I could be snuggled up on the porch with a blanket and coffee right now. Super rough day at work. I'm sorry to hear it, but I'm happy. It helps you work. Yay, danger. I need to go back, and I wonder if it's all right with you. Put the art that you did, link it on the Blue Sky. I just need to get the link again from yesterday's VOD. I meant to leave it open, but I shut everything down after stream, and I was like, oh, I meant to do that. You want some praise? Let me do that right after I get coffee. I'm not going to go to a Be Right Back screen. Yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate you. I'll be right back. Enjoy my model behaving himself and not dancing wildly. I think. We'll see. We'll see when I get back. Let's see. Is he dancing? No, but what is that? Oh my god. Oh no. Oh, that's horrible. That is so cursed. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. Actually, let me pin this instead of the throne. Because that is cool. If you click the link, thank you again, Sue. It's the art that, oh, awesome, beautiful. It's the art that Danger did for us. It's so cool. It's so cool. Am I looking at it again? Maybe. The model breakdances, literally? Yeah. Yeah. I know it's gonna be not great for the vibes, but I still want to have like some techno and have that just be on the BR back screen, have a dance floor as the background. So when I go away, just leave the model up here. Such an adorable laugh. What? 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 Don't you agree, Eloise? Bleh. Of course, Danger. Thank you. You took time to do that for me. That's a wonderful gift. Thank you. Jesus Christ. You too, Sue. Let me drink some coffee though. It's so weird. I wonder if like the warmer plate for the pod is like dying or something, or maybe because there's more. There's like still a lot of coffee in there. It doesn't get as warm, which is currently perfect because that means I get to just instantly drink it without having to cool off. The other thing could be that I'm turning into an old man, and like, you know, those old folks that have to get like, they want their coffee piping hot just so they can fill something again. Oh no. Thank you very much, Sue. Thank you. You know I adore it. I do. Huh? Why you roaring there, kiddo? We'll get back to the story, but I do want to take just a little bit of time to stretch and relax, and yay. This does not bode well for the gaming stream we have after this. Let me take a moment to just give them a heads up. That's not great. Yeah, the storm. And of course, I can't spell very well. I hurt my thumbs. But I had to like trim my nails to a regular length for guitar and for like exercise for grip and stuff. But I do like how long nails look on me, so I like currently have long thumbnails because it doesn't really like affect any of that. But it does whenever I type. It makes it, I guess, harder to judge where my thumb's going to be. I already am the typo king, and it's even worse like this. Just want to give them a heads up that I might lose power. But yeah, for anyone interested in it, while we do our best to provide a nice, comfy, cozy place here, we will be rating a wonderful FinTuber, and by the name of Kaiku, and we're going to be doing a gaming collaboration with a bunch of wonderful FinTubers, a bunch of wonderful Finnish VTubers. We're going to be playing Headliners. Yes, thank you. I completely forgot. I'm the worst. Thank you. And yeah. As a heads up, gaming, I'm unhinged. I'm a little gremlin. I'm also a sweet, sweet boy, but I'm also a gremlin. So it's your slight warning if you do choose to participate in the raid when that happens in a bit. My acrylics will press extra buttons when I type. Mine's almost getting to the point where it goes where you get the when I type, you know what I mean? We're almost there. We're almost there. Which, and realistically, we'll probably cut them just because I don't want to. I want to repaint them, but I don't like cutting them whenever they're painted. You know what I mean? So I might just wait for it to chip off and cut them and maybe repaint them. Anyway, that's not really relevant. But yes, is there anything specific, Sup, how you doing? Because I don't know, that you would like to be praised for? Anything specific you have going on that would that you'd like to hear? Or just, would you like general again? Fine. Fine. Sup, how you doing? Because I don't know. You are doing so good. No, it's just going to be basic. It's just going to be basic. Because there's nothing. I don't know anything. You're doing a great job with the things you have going on. You're doing wonderful. It's okay that there's nothing new with you. Because you're doing wonderful. I'm so proud of you. So proud. Great job, Sup, how you doing? Because I don't know. Also, I just love saying your name as fast as I possibly can. It's wonderful. And Danger, I already know what I want to praise you on, obviously. Danger. You are such a skilled artist. I use the word skilled instead of talented because skilled implies that you've spent a long time doing it, that you've spent a long time honing your craft. Talented seems to be implied that it's a gift, that is something you haven't worked for. And I think we both know that you have. You've put a lot of time into it. You put a lot of effort into it. And you do such an amazing job. I want to look at more of your work and see what you do. You're a wonderful artist and seem to be genuinely a lovely person. I enjoy having you here and getting to spend time with you. Thank you so much for being such a sweetheart, for being such a nice and kind person. I appreciate you, and I'm proud of you. Just got a little danger. Also, calling someone a good little danger might be funny. What? What? I need to hurry and drink this before it gets cold. You're very welcome. Watching my points like a hawk. Listen. I can, I definitely don't mind the praise stuff. But it is one of those that I really like if there's something that I have in mind. That way, like, it's not that praising, except how you doing, because I don't know, isn't genuine. It's just that I have nothing to go off of, so it is kind of basic. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but I do like the praise redeem to be like as genuine and real as possible. I like it to be just nice. Listen, I'll trauma dump with no hesitation. No, don't do that, please. But yeah, if you can, I'm not gonna like make it to where you have to type something. But yeah, just keep that in mind. General's fine. That's what I'm saying. But it means something to me when it can mean something to somebody else too. Hopefully, it's a demon. Nyahoy, nyahoy. No demon antics here, please. I'm gonna keep things nice and cozy. Nice and soft. Okay. We will go back to reading. We have quite a bit left. This isn't the short story subreddit. This is not the shortest story. A cat boy? It's me. I'm a cat boy. Yahoy. Welcome in. You guys feel free to sit down and grab a coffee or your favorite drink and just chill out with us. We're in the middle of a sci-fi story. And what we do here is a mixture of reading, chatting, and when it's redeemed, triggers. Two contacts, Dorian snapped. An eagle and a fer-de-lance. They caught a glimpse of the thresher through the ripped-apart mail slot. The first salvo hit it before she could even react. A white light blinded them as the ship's reactor combusted. Ship destroyed, her personal computer reported, and she froze. Out of the narrow viewport, her old trusty hauler came apart in total silence. A blooming fireball and scattering hole of shards spun away into the black. We need to go. Now. Dorian grabbed her arm and pulled her into a sprint towards his ship. They dove up the stairs and into the Cobra's cockpit. He threw himself into the flight seat and activated the ship's systems and engines. Strap in, he barked, figures dancing over the controls. Thrusters roared to life, burning furiously as the ship punched through the mail slot and away from the station. The eagle came in fast, predictable. Dorian twisted into a barrel roll and pulled it around to launch 3 plasma lobs directly into the eagle's weak shields. They immediately fell just after 3 volleys as he firmly held his distance from the nimble ship. Full pips to engines, he hit boost, and they felt the thrusters push them into the seats as he pulled right underneath the eagle. Stephanie watched as Dorian calmly lined up the shot, having sub-targeted its power plant. With a vibration that swept through the entire ship, the railguns at either side launched 2 slugs that ripped through the armor plating and destroyed the ship's power plant. 3 seconds later, the eagle exploded with a blue light, a fairly minimal ceremony. Too easy, he cheered, heart racing and smile growing across his face. The other one's on our tail, Stephanie warmed, reading the panel. The fer-de-lance had snuck up behind them when they took on the eagle. The fer-de-lance moved slower, but its multi-cannon shoot space apart with every shot. One blast skimmed Jackknife's shields, sending a tremor through the ship. 85%, 63%, 41%. The shields can't hold up against this many rounds for long, Stephanie warned. Dorian banked hard under a crescent-sized ice debris, out of the view of the fer-de-lance for just a moment. He pivoted sharply, caught the fer-de-lance in a wide arc around a broken asteroid, and fired 3 plasma shots into its shields. The burst lit the darkness with a purple glare, but the enemy shields held. It's gonna need more than that, Stephanie shouted, tracking the fluctuating readings. They're activating the shield cell. Dorian dropped altitude hard, driving behind another icy fragment. The fer-de-lance followed in pursuit, its multi-cannons lashing out, hammering their shields. They collapsed with a flicker. The sound inside the cockpit shifted from a deafening hum to a grinding roar as rounds thudded into the outer hull. Warning lights turned orange. A harsh vibration tore through the floor, rattling control panels. Panels near the co-pilot station burst in a spray of sparks, and the overhead lights dimmed. We're taking hull damage. I've got breaches in the secondary armor. Hold on, Dorian growled, teeth clenched. He pulled hard left, the Cobra ripping around a jagged shard of ice that deflected a second volley. Rounds peppered the rock just behind them, fragments spinning fast, the canopy in a cloud of glittered dust. He yanked the stick right and kicked lateral thrusters, sliding around another icy outcrop, twisting unpredictably. The Fer-de-Lance kept pace, its heavier frame trailing more slowly, but never quite losing sight of them. "We need to bleed its fire pattern," Stephanie said, leaning forward. "Try leading it through that narrow gap at 11 o'clock. Dorian nodded, saw the path, and shot through it at full throttle. The narrow gap forced the Fer-de-Lance to bank wider. It caught them 3 seconds. Bought them 3 seconds. "Full pips to weapons," Dorian muttered, rerouting what power he could. A glowing charge began to form over the wings. "On my mark." Jackknife emerged in a spin and fired 2 bursts. They struck the Fer-de-Lance shields directly. Ripples of energy skimmered around the frame, apart from and part of the glow faltered. "They felt that one," Stephanie murmured. "Let's make them feel the rest." He rolled again, ducking under another rock. The cobra jerked sideways, came out of the other side, and twisted back into the open void with another barrage of plasma. The Fer-de-Lance tried to match their maneuver, but that was its mistake. It couldn't turn sharply enough to keep up. Dorian slammed the flight assist toggle off. The aero simulation dropped. The cobra drifted like a stone on ice. He arced the nose upwards in a sweeping loop while drifting backwards, facing the Fer-de-Lance head-on, even as they slid away from it. "You practiced that one in your sleep?" Stephanie yelled. Plasma charges flared as he fired mid-drift. The glow pulsed across the enemy's shielding again, already starting to fray at the edges. "He's trying to nose into us," Stephanie warned, watching the Fer-de-Lance pivot. "Let him," Dorian said through gritted teeth, bringing the cobra's main nose directly in line with the center of the larger ship once more. With his final charge, full pips to weapons, he fired. The last plasma charge acred across the space between them, collapsing the Fer-de-Lance's remaining shields in a cascade of blue static. "Shields down, power plant exposed." But not before the Fer-de-Lance let loose one last desperate burst from its multi-cannons. The volley raked their hull as they drifted backwards, tearing across the ventral planting. Sparks burst from the weapon's control panel, and the lights over the plasma charger indicators went dark. "Plasma's dead," she snapped. "Thruster output's been halved, and those last hits chewed through our power distributor." Dorian wasted no time. He pulled the trigger, and 2 magnetic slugs screamed through the vacuum and punched deep into the hull. "A direct hit to the reactor," Stephanie called out. Smoke and flame vented from the Fer-de-Lance's rear thrusters. The ship began to tumble, power plant choking into failure. Its engine sputtered, and then the entire ship began to drift, rotation slowing as its systems failed one by one. A moment later, a chain reaction in its reactor housing caused a sharp white flash. Then silence. The vessel split in half, rupturing along its spine, and a second blast tore through the midsection. A wave rolled silently across the field as hull planting curled outward and debris scattered into the dark. Nothing remained but burning wreckage and a slow, dispersing trail of vapor. "That's how we do it," Dorian said, jaw tight. "Confirmed kill," she breathed. "That was too close." The cockpit fell quiet for a beat. Dorian leaned back in his seat, hand hovering near the throttle, but relaxed, and let out a long breath. The glow of the warning lights dimmed slightly as the systems recalibrated. Stephanie tapped at her console, scanning the damage report. "We're holding at 38% hull integrity," she muttered. "Shields are cycling. They should be back in a couple of minutes. We'll make it." They ascended slowly, threading through jagged ice slabs and floating debris, the stars widening above them as they cleared the field. The silence of space settled over the ship like a weighted blanket. Stephanie was just about to speak when the ship buckled violently. An impact alarm screamed. Lights flickered again. The door rattled under their boots. "Contact! What the hell?" Dorian looked around trying to spot the attacker, and Stephanie checked the radar. "We missed one. Silent, running. Shit. A vulture. It was hiding in the field the whole time." Dorian hesitated just for a second. The vulture had come out of nowhere, silent, almost surgical with his ambush. He looked at the flickering control panel, the disabled plasma array, the sluggish thruster readout. They were out of options. A bright lance of beam laser fire surged across their hull, melting through one of the upper plating seams and exposing scorched insulation beneath. The ship shuddered as another burst carved through the port side. Molten metal hissed against the outer skin, with beams coming across the burning right through the plasma chargers. Stephanie checked systems. Weapons are down, distributors cooked. No more plasma, and not enough thruster output to even turn and get the rails on target. We got the torps, Dorian muttered, eyes scanning the dying systems. But there's no way we can get a lock while running away and with their ECM active. Stephanie paused, then turned sharply towards the gunner station. Then, we don't get a lock. I'll fly it manually. Dorian looked at her for a beat, then gave a tight nod. You're up. Stephanie moved to the gunner controls, activating the external bay. She gripped the controls and punched in a few commands she learned back in her scrappy Alliance days to override the torpedo's guidance systems. Launching, try to keep dodging as much fire as you can. A dull thud echoed through the hull as the torpedo ejected forward. With the ship tumbling away, Stephanie guided it blind, using only the camera feed and guesswork. Hold her steady, she hissed, sweat forming under her collar. The torpedo drifted, with pulses of RCs directed in its direction, then re-engaged its primary thruster. It turned in a wide loop, ducking around the flight path of the Vulture. Come on, come on, the Vulture's thrusters roared, still trailing them. She nudged the torpedo, spinning it sharply. The Vulture filled the torpedo's lenses, growing like a hungry eye, then impact. The screen flared. The explosion lit the void. The Vulture was gone. Splash, she breathed. Dorian coughed, looking back. I owe you one. The cockpit, we're almost done with the story, by the way. The cockpit stank of burned insulation and coolant. Crackling warnings flashed on what few screens still worked. Panels dangled open like wounds. Stephanie tapped to the nav console, patched through the entire enough systems to bring up the map. Nearest station is Hiram's Claim, she said, flickering power back to the frameshift drive. Plotting jump vector now. Dorian eased the Cobra to a slow roll, pointing them away from the debris field. The FSD was spooled. Whole shot. Plasma's offline, distributor is barely running, he muttered. But I think we've got one jump left in us. The countdown hit 0. Witch space opened like a wound in the stars, and Jackknife vanished into the black. Their battered ship limped into Hiram's Claim. Sparks crackled from a joint wing, one of the vent panels hung loose. Coolant vented faintly in a gray mist. Docking clamps caught the Cobra with a mechanical clunk. The bay was quiet, except for tools clattering and boots thudding against the deck. What the hell happened to you two? Every time you dock here, I've got to scrub blood off the pads, the dock chief muttered, scanning their melted and punctured hull. Slavers, ice-filled. Surprise ambush, Dorian said, stepping down the ramp. We need full systems work, Stephanie added. Rearm, refuel, replace every panel, part, and cable that's been cooked. The chief nodded grimly. I'll get the crew on it. It's gonna cost you, though, he smirked. They rode the lift to the upper concourse in silence. At the bar, they sat near the viewport, watching an Imperial cutter drift quietly through the mail slot. The bartender set 2 glasses in front of them. You look like you've seen death. We almost did, Stephanie replied. Dorian lifted his drink. To not being dead. And to living long enough to buy another ship, Stephanie added, eyes on the void. They drank slowly, the hum of the station soft and comforting. a strong contrast to the adrenaline rush that was the distress call gone wrong. Outside, ships came and went through the mail slot. Routine, serene, and utterly unaware of what this galaxy hid in its darkest corners. Yay! Yippee! I've got an orange kiss. Alahani? What is this? What is that? Thanks for the welcome. I'm just going to be lurking until I have to do more work. In an hour and a half. Fair. Enjoy the lurk. We are going to be ending fairly soon. Let me drink more coffee really quick. But if you want to stick around, we will be raiding Kaiku in a little bit. And you will get to see the more unhinged side of me, the gaming side. What we do on the gaming channel, it's pretty different than what we do here. Voice is the same, so there's that. But that's about it. What's my favorite coffee? Wait, the ADHD screamed, "Do a barrel roll." Fair, yeah. Favorite coffee? If it's like pre D&D. If we're heading to D&D, we have this nice little cafe that does like their version of frappuccinos, but they're actually good. They're really creamy and nice. I'm not a huge fan of like the sweet coffee drinks, but with this one, I'll get like their version of caramel frappuccino with whipped cream. It's delicious. I love it. Aggie was kind enough to get that for me the other day. She brought that and the like pretzel cheese pizza, which is interesting. It sounds like an abomination, and it is, but it's still good. I like it. It's my cheap but guilty pleasure. It's an energy drink. I don't drink them too often anymore. When I do, it's like usually Red Bull. That's kind of my go-to. But let me finish answering that as well. If it's at home, I like the Starbucks Cafe Verona. It's not expensive, but to me it's expensive. But it's also just like is really nice. Like when it gets cold or cool, it doesn't become like incredibly bitter or not drinkable. Like it's the one coffee I will still drink when it's cold. Sue here has berated me for my coffee tastes, lovingly, and has promised to make me an actual cup of coffee, which I very much look forward to. She's got one of those fancy makers. It's not really berating. You did say that I drink bad coffee, and that you were gonna make me a good cup of coffee with your fancy machinery. It's been a while. I don't know if you remember. Anyway, moving past it. Yahoy. Welcome in, Knox. It's nice to see you here. Unfortunately, we are ending soon. And Chad. Oh no. Yes. What's up, Chad? It's nice to see you. We are ending soon, but we will be gaming on the channel that you're familiar with. Very shortly, very soon. He's excited for it. I really am. I really am. I love coffee, and I love her. So her making me coffee, amazing. Let's go. Bleh. Bleh. Okay. I see that Kaiku is active. I don't know what they have going on, so I think that we're gonna go ahead and raid them. Again, just as a warning, we're going to be playing games, and the vibes are very different than what they are here. So if you're purely here for the chill and comfy stuff, don't join the raid. But if you would like to see me hang out with a bunch of fun Finnish people, please join the raid, and please support the person I'm raiding if you like what they do. It's going to be a moment before I join them because I got to get things set up. I will also be streaming it on my channel as well. So yeah, I do have to clock back in. Good luck. You got this. You got this. What are you gasping about, Seon? So let me go ahead and set that up. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about shortly? Gotta make sure I spell their name right. As it is Finnish. I imagine it's Finnish. It might not be at all. Thank you. Wait, that's not to me. But still, thank you. Hi, Foxy. We're about to raid. But I will be back. Absolutely will be back Monday for more stories, more chatting, and more triggers when they're redeemed. We will have the binaural mic set up 100% on Monday. So you can, if you enjoy that sound, it'll be back. I'll real quickly do have a Ko-Fi that you can check out for free audio if that's your thing. And I might stream this weekend depending on how much time I have. There won't really be a scheduled time, but if you want to catch me here, you can pretty much always expect me around 9 or 10 a.m. EST, Monday through Friday. And Thursdays are a stream with Sue here, where we still do the same thing. We just kind of read, and there's more emphasis on chatting with each other and you guys as well. But anyway, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for spending your time here and having coffee with me and hanging out. It's always lovely, always appreciated. So, we are going to raid Kaiku, and I'll see you over there if you decide to join. Until next time, take care. Of course, always.